Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Advancement Center. Welcome to an amazing life filled with more magic and more miracles than you can ever possibly keep track of. And that's just in this one incarnation. I am David. At least that's what they named me. And I'm coming today, as I always am, to deliver what is passed on to me that changes my life, takes me further and further into the world of my Creator with a smile on my face and a smile in my heart. And I'm always delighted to pass it on to anyone and everyone without any expectation. For the joy is always firstly mine, and that's what's transmitted through the words. The caring is mine, the desire for everyone to enjoy their life and recognize the magnificence of who they are is mine. And even if you may not be able to receive that reality, the joy that I have in knowing it is mine. And it allows me to fly like an eagle. The magic is incredible. The miracles of our life never stop. And even when we experience something so magnificent, it falls into the background to make room for something new, something that may seem less magnificent in your logical mind, but it takes the space of that other thing and becomes just as magnificent. Driving on old tires and feeling the bump, bump, bump in the car as you drive, and then one day getting new tires and feeling the smoothness of the road in the car is magic. And the feeling of the difficult ride has an impact on your life. You have to consider that it may not always be safe. And then when you get new tires, your whole world changes. You no longer have to consider that. And then a month later or 2 days later, you forgot you have new tires. It becomes a part of your new world. And that feeling that you experienced, you can't hold because something else comes forward. It's the same thing with our lives, and in particular, and especially our bodies, as we have aches and pains, and then somehow they disappear. And we celebrate the new feeling. But we can't stay there. Something else comes in, just as magnificent. And I'm always amazed how something that took up so much of our focus is gone, has no place in our reality. And even the positive things can't be held on to. So we're on this journey of magnificence. And each day, because of the energies that are coming onto the planet, the identity of the one that you call David slowly slides into the background. The communication with this physical body that has a consciousness of its own increases as I begin to speak to it. And even throughout my day, I begin to see myself outside of myself. And I know I'm passing through to a grander me that's always been there, that's smiling, and that is coming forward because it is time to come forward. First for me, then for whomever it is meant to be for. And I relish in the freedom and the joy of that me coming all the way to the front with power and ability, magic, with gifts in hand, with freedom. And with a desire to show the way, if a way needs to be shown. So here are the words that I'll pass on to you this day. The zone. I am like a firefly hopping along the magical new grid of the new earth, unfettered by the limitations of the physical plane, descending upon the places where the grid lines overlap and getting a charge of hypersonic magic into my being, and then returning to my flitting and flying through the grid, balancing the high places and balancing the low places. The new grid is beautiful, a playground filled with immense energy and power. It is a joy to be a part of maintaining the structure and integrity of this new grid that I was a part of with many others in bringing it forward. So come fly with me just above the earth herself and look down at the grid lines, a most beautiful sight indeed. There's a peace that passes understanding that is available for everyone now, a calm that sits right in the middle of the storm. That peace is alive, it is conscious, and it is delivering information, wisdom, clarity, and most importantly, a brand new life and a completely different way of living. Within what it is delivering is a feeling of the end of all seeking, of all striving, of all doing, an unfamiliar place for all humankind. Many will initially feel lost upon experiencing this feeling and think that there is something wrong with them. But do not worry or fear. You are just having the IV that contained the drug that made you play the game of striving and getting and seeking and chasing and winning removed from your arm. And so you are simply experiencing some symptoms of withdrawal. You will begin to see yourself completely differently now. And all the agendas that related to the old way of living will become as obvious as the sun in the sky. Even though your vibration has now increased and information is coming and going through your system at a faster and faster frequency, you find that you within your being are actually slowing down. This is a reality that I have experienced through athletics. Oftentimes, I will pass it on to my students in tennis. As you are trying to improve in a sport, there are too many thoughts happening, and because of that, the game is moving too fast. You always feel like you're one step behind, chasing instead of playing. But then one day you reach a level where there is no thinking. You are no longer doubting your skills, and all of a sudden, the game slows down. And you begin to see everything because there's an endless amount of space for you to access everything and still play the game. You feel like you are in what has been called the zone. The tennis ball seems as big as a grapefruit, and you feel as though you will never miss a shot. There is a place, there is a peace that passes understanding, and a calm that is beyond striving, seeking, and achieving. As you move into a higher level of the sport, you find that the game has gotten fast again, and that you are thinking once again. You are anxious and always one step behind, until the day when all of a sudden you master the skills of the new level and the game once again begins to slow down. I am using sports to paint this picture, but it is true in every walk of life. A musician, a doctor, a teacher, every walk of life finds this place within their avocation where things are moving too fast, and then they begin to slow down. And they have moments of entering into a zone. I may have 10 people on a court, and they all will reach this moment at different times, even though they're all hearing the same words from me about how to improve their technique. Everyone moves to this place at their own unique and individual rate. So what I am expressing today is coming to this place on my spiritual journey with the awareness that it is and will happen for everyone in their own unique and perfect timing. Know that everyone is on a journey to themselves. You don't have to call it a spiritual journey. These are just words that are trying to describe the indescribable. How do you speak about the life of an eternal spiritual being that has no beginning and has no ending within the reference of a limited physical experience? But yet and still, it is happening as the peace that passes all understanding descends upon your head, and everything begins to slow down, and you begin to understand it all. For you are now in the zone. This is called Looked After, and the end of the procession of responsibility. This place called Earth that we have chosen to live on is a playground. If we truly knew we were being looked after and that everything had been orchestrated and set in motion for our benefit, we would always be in a play mode and always have a smile on our face. Nothing would ever be too serious. Not even death would be able to deter our joy, for we must always remember that we are eternal, never born and never died, and this is just the current costume that you have chosen to wear during this incarnation. Therefore, as it is said, O death, where is your sting? If only we could remember, we would be like the children we see on their little playgrounds, the ones with sliding boards and seesaws, monkey bars and swings. Those little children have the same needs that we do: shelter, water, food, and clothing, yet they never take on the responsibility of providing it. And they find that their only true responsibility is to enjoy their life. We as parents look after their every need with our life, with the ferocity of a lioness, a mother elephant, a giant male gorilla. The children don't know that we are doing this, and in the beginning lack any sense of gratitude or appreciation. But as life goes on, they begin to realize that they were always watched over, providing a way for their destiny to be achieved. And their gratitude, appreciation, and awareness soon begins to blossom. You see, one of the most controlling programs that has ever been downloaded into our non-remembering being is the procession of responsibility, parents to child. And when the child becomes a parent, it repeats again, parents to child. But you were already responsible, and you always will be responsible. So there has never been a need for the passing down of responsibility. Therefore, this is something different, something more insidious, something to control an entire population through guilt and then compliance. The Creator, Source itself, has no choice but to make sure that you have everything you need and everything that you have desired to reach your chosen destiny. It is set in stone, and that future you can never be stopped from arriving. Source has not taken that as a responsibility, but as an honor and a pleasure to assist in producing a gift to the physical world, and that gift is you. Once again, we as parents do the very same thing for our kids, even as we, the parents, at the exact same time, are being watched over by our Creator. But this program tells the child as it gets older, just as it told the parents when they were a child getting older, that it is time for you to start to take responsibility for your actions and your life. The parents pass this down to the children at all different stages of life, depending on their own experience, their race, religion, culture, economic state, and their country of residence. When a new baby is born into the family, this program of responsibility does not come online. There is only love and a desire to care for and watch over this child with your life. At this moment, you as the parent have become the source, taking care of every need and making sure they have the freedom to become who they are destined to become. At the same time, you become aware of the one source, as your needs as the parent are also being met, so that you can meet the needs of your child. Money appears out of nowhere. Clothing and food are always given when needed, so that the child feels safe, secure, and loved. And even if you are living below the poverty line and have to work an insane number of hours, within the few moments you get to spend with your child, a love is passed on that many times surpasses the power of the one who is able to be with the child because of their favorable financial situations every minute of every day. We are ending the program of the procession of responsibility, for we are entering another golden age. This responsibility program has been paralyzing all of humanity. It has created a self-generating standard of judgment that holds the whole world accountable to its victims. It says things like, it's time to take responsibility for your life. The free ride is over. You have to start getting serious about your future. You have to start to take responsibility for what you say, what you eat, what you wear, how you look. If you want to get somewhere in this life to be successful and have a good life, you need to start taking responsibility for yourself. You're not a little kid anymore. We've all heard these words and we've all delivered them, passed down upon others with a weight that buries your spirit 6 feet under. This is the program of the procession of responsibility. It has paralyzed generation after generation of humanity, yet nothing, I repeat, nothing, can ever stop you from reaching that place that you set inside yourself before you came to this planet. A child's face is lit up with the absence of this program of responsibility, and an adult's face becomes full of darkness with the presence of the program of responsibility. Shoulders are heavy, backs are sore, and legs are tired, for the weight of this responsibility is too heavy for anyone to ever have to carry. You have left the playground and you don't ever see a way to go back. But today, all that is changing. We are going back to the playground. There's a term called the precession of the equinox that has been spoken about by the masters over many millions of years. It states that through the history of the existence of the universe, there has been a measurable and observable correlation with the cycle of time, that being 24,000 years, that every few thousand years within these 24,000 years, the earth would move into a different field of energy, cycling from great darkness to great light, and then back to darkness again. In these dark cycles, there was an observable correlation with life on the planet. The time of the Inquisition, the plague that killed millions on the planet, and the overall destruction of humanity was observed during those dark cycles. Whereas things like the Renaissance and the Industrial Revolution were observed during a cycle moving towards the light, with the pinnacle being Atlantis and Lemuria representing a golden age, the highest point of the cycle before it started to circle backwards towards the darkness. It has been documented that we are heading once again towards another golden age, and the ending of the procession of responsibility is evidence of this being true. This procession of responsibility is a generational cycle that has affected all life on the planet. But now it is ending, and you will be able to return to the freedom of being that child on the playground, having not a care in the world, while at the same time knowing why. The knowing why will be enhanced by knowing yourself and knowing that you are one with Source and absolutely free. This knowing why is what you will pass on to everyone that interacts with your field. They will feel your freedom. They will feel your non-worry in the face of circumstances like falling off the sliding board or scraping your knee on the monkey bars. They will feel you having gotten your boo-boo kissed and returning to the playground with a big smile on your face like nothing ever happened. You will begin to forget all negativity, and you will even have a hard time remembering any positivity as well. You will just enjoy each moment on your playground of life, whether you are a child on the swings or an adult buying a house. It's all just one giant playground, free of fear, reasoning, worry, and now, once and for all, free of responsibility. You've always known that there was a grand design for your life. You felt it when you were that kid, but you shut it down because of responsibility. But now you can once again see your destiny on the horizon coming closer, as the responsibility that was blocking its light is no longer there. So go now and unveil your magic and your gifts that you had hidden and buried away for fear of not being responsible. And embrace that you pushed into the background. Go now and fly and become yourself again. I see you, that beautiful little one, running and laughing, smiling and jumping on the playground. And now you are back. We are now entering a golden age, and your magic, gifts, and abilities will lead the way. You are loved. You are loved. You have always been loved. And today, you are free of responsibility. And away we go. Thank you for joining me. It's been an honor to speak to you. providing everything you need to enjoy your life, a perfect life with perfect health and a magic future. I am David.